With Star Wars Episode 9 providing a handful of new characters being portrayed by Richard E. Grant, Naomi Ackie, and even Kerry Russell, it left a lot of fans wondering as to exactly who will Richard E. Grant be playing in Episode 9. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, Episode 9 is currently being filmed right now and directed by J.J. Abrams. He's got a lot of work to do. It's said that production won't even be, wrapped until, I guess you could say, in or around January to February. In around those months is when principal photography should end, given that each Star Wars film in the sequel trilogy tends to film for around 6 months. So looking at Episode 9 here, there's been a lot of talk about Grand Admiral Thrawn coming into the mix for Episode 9, and with how Star Wars Rebels Season 4 ended and how it left it open-ended for the fates of both Ezra and, of course, Thrawn, it really does raise a lot of questions here. Now, I want to go over a lot of hints that actually points to Richard E. Grant being Grand Admiral Thrawn in Episode 9. Now, would this make sense because Thrawn would be a whole lot older in that trilogy? So that's another thing to actually keep note of, but let's go over the hints as to why Richard may very well be Grand Admiral Thrawn in Episode 9. Now, the first one being is, of course, Richard E. Grant is said to be performing with his own accent, which already resembles that of Thrawn's. I want you guys to go ahead and bring up clips of Star Wars Rebels where you do get to listen to Thrawn, and then bring up interviews of Richard E. Grant. They pretty much are one and the same. They sound very similar. So, same exact kind of tone, the speech patterns, the way he talks, it's very much like Thrawn. And even if it's a little off, he could always do some kind of, voice training in order to kind of match it in a sense. The second thing is that Grant's character is going to be significant to the plot. Now, in Episode 9, Richard E. Grant is going to be a significant character to the overall story of Episode 9. And usually, ironically with these characters having those accents, the British accents, they tend to be more on the evil side of things. I mean, if you guys go ahead and look at the Empire and the First Order, you name it, especially with those types of characters, they tend to be on the bad side here. So looking at Richard E. Grant, even if you look at his face and the way his hairline is and everything, the forehead, it just matches Thrawn. Just his looks match Thrawn. Now, Disney and Lucasfilm have been toying around with the idea of bringing in a Rebels character in Episode 9. And also, Richard's character is said to require heavy makeup. And if you look at Thrawn, guys, alright, in order to get that done by an actor, you need a lot of makeup. You gotta be all painted blue, you gotta put in some contact lenses, you gotta dye your hair black, you gotta do the whole deal. So that in itself tells us that he could very well be portraying Thrawn in this movie. The other thing is that it's said that the unknown regions will be in Episode 9, and at the very end of Rebels Season 4, it's said that as Ezra and Thrawn jump to hyperspace, they are launched into the unknown regions, and that there is a reason as to why Dave Filoni left the ending of Season 4 open-ended. It could very well be that it's a way to connect fans to Episode 9 and new viewers to Episode 9 to go back to Star Wars Rebels and learn more about Grand Admiral Thrawn. So if Thrawn is in this film, exactly why would he be in the movie? Well, this may very well connect to the plot leak that we heard about back in May. Everybody was talking about of how Chist's children will be a part of Episode 9. Chist's children, that's actually the species of Thrawn. Not only that, alright, a handful of children were actually cast for Episode 9. I don't know if you guys heard about this a couple of weeks ago, but a handful of children were cast for Episode 9, and they're said to be shooting a very small scene, granted, with Daisy Ridley this September. So that could tell us that these Chist children are going to play a role in the movie. Now, it's also said that from that plot leak back in May that they will lead our heroes into the unknown regions. And as they go into the unknown regions, guys, I think that it's really possible that they could actually run into Grand Admiral Thrawn. Maybe he has his own thing going on, his own little army or whatever he's doing in the unknown regions. Maybe they actually become allies to go up against the First Order. Could you imagine a twist like that where Thrawn is now working with the Resistance or the New Rebellion, whatever they are called now? Maybe Thrawn's little, army works with them to go up against the New Order by Kylo Ren, or should I say, the First Order. I think that applying the whole entire idea of the enemy of my enemy is my friend in Episode 9 would be a great concept. I would love that. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.